This is CTV News.
A car chase tonight on the I-5 freeway near Seattle. You're looking at a dramatic scene that unfolded not too long ago on the busy I-5. Police chasing several suspects inside a car.
And the demonstrations kind of petered out throughout the summer, but they're starting to come back again. What do you expect in the next few months?
It's hard to say because right now the police can do everything with the law 78, so maybe civil unrest, riots.
Riots?
Yeah.
Cyclists aren't seen as second-class commuters in the eyes of the law. Bill 100 will slap drivers with hefty fines for opening a careless door or hogging lanes.
Neonatal care has improved so much that some women are choosing to deliver their babies prematurely. They were lucky enough to get funding from the federal and provincial governments with 2 grants that will help them produce their newest album, Bird Eyes. Communications director at Tarragon, Andrew Corney, is working with some big names in the resort and shipping industry to get the project off the ground.
Pedestrians, cyclists, and local transit users are concerned because the plan threatens to cut off access to an entire neighborhood.
Following a particularly violent weekend that saw 4 stabbings on the island of Montreal and 2 in Chambly, prominent bar owner Peter Sergakis says it's time to toughen up on knife laws. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. A gunman remains on the loose tonight, and condolences are pouring in from across the country for 3 police officers who were shot to death in Moncton, New Brunswick. We begin with dramatic new video.
This is the city Samir and his family used to call home.
There isn't life there. They are living in a death situation, and they cannot go out. If they go out, somebody will shoot them. There is not peace of mind. You never know.
They fled Homs, Syria 3 years ago after an aunt and uncle were shot dead on the street. Like thousands of others, the family abandoned their home and business for neighboring Jordan.
The people who are living in refugee camps, it's a very bad situation. All they are doing is counting down the days until their death.
3 years later, they've been resettled by the UN, some of the first Syrian refugees given a chance to make a new home here in Georgia. Assigned an apartment through a federal grant on the condition that Samir find a job. And happily, he was discovered by Atlanta restaurant owner Campbell.
It's a win-win situation, and I love that. Just takes me back to about 35 years when I first came in here to the U.S., and here I am for them, but they're here for me as well.
It's here in the kitchen that Samir has proven that he's much more than a charity case. By virtue of his work ethic, owner Campbell has hired his 18-year-old brother, Osama, who too has fled to the U.S. just weeks ago.
But across the United States, doors may be closing for refugees like Samir and his family.
I am now requesting that the President and the federal government cease sending refugees from Syria to North Carolina.
Since Paris was hit by deadly attacks November 13th, governors in more than half of American states have pledged to stop accepting refugees for fear of terror on home soil. But Camille believes it's the nation's responsibility to take in those fleeing violence, like the attacks rocking Paris, Beirut, and cities across Syria.
Every single country in the world, they are obligated to help these people.
He says the brothers have repaid his kindness tenfold as skilled and hardworking members of his team. Emily Campbell, Atlanta.